Section 6.2 is about solving trig equations. And remember, when you solve an equation, you're solving for a variable. So when you have a trig equation, you do find that you end up with, say, as we're looking here, cotan x equals -1, but then you have to find the angles that would give you that. So let's look at this one. 2 cotan x plus 1 equals -1 in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Always check the interval. It may be only asking for the interval 0 to pi. That means you would only have 2 possibilities. In this one, we're given 4 quadrants, so we have many possibilities. Now, subtract the 1 on both sides. You get 2 cotan x equals -2. Divide by 2 and you get cotan x equals -1. Now, the reference angle is 45 degrees, or pi over 4. That's where tan and cotan are both 1 or -1. So where is cotan negative? That is our next choice. Cotan is negative in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. It's positive in 1 and 3. So if you think in degrees first, I do. I think 135 and 315. And then I convert to radians. And the answer is usually given in whatever the interval is put in, then you need to put your answer in that. So we would want to give an answer of 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. Those would both work in that equation. Now, that's just solving it linearly. Sometimes you have to factor. So let's look at this one. 2 tan squared theta sine theta minus tan squared theta equals 0 in the interval 0 to 360. So this tells us our answer is going to be in degrees, not radians. So if we look at these two pieces, what's common here is a tan squared. So if we factor out tan squared, right there, you take that out, you're left with 2 sine theta minus 1. So now that we have two factors, like here and here, we can set each of them equal to 0. Tan squared theta equals 0, which means tan theta equals 0. 2 sine theta minus 1 equals 0. Add your 1, divide by 2, so you have sine theta is 1/2. And your question is then, what angle has a sine of 1/2? Well, that's 30 degrees. Now, we're talking about positive, so it's positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So you would have 30 and you would have 150, which has a reference of 30. Tan theta is 0 at 0 degrees and 180. So you had actually 4 answers for that particular equation. So that's kind of the process. And so now let's go look at the homework problems. So in these problems, we start out and they provide the unit circle for you to help you get through this. So you could use your own as reference, but there's going to be one in the problem. Use the unit circle to solve the trig equation. Solve over 0 to 2 pi, which means we could go all the way around the unit circle. Now what we're doing here, every point on the unit circle has a coordinate pair, and the first number is cosine, the second number indicates the sine. So you're looking, where do you see a positive 1/2? Here and here. And we're in radians, so that's pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So these are pretty easy. You're just using the unit circle. Number 2, where is cosine x, the square root of 3 over 2? Well, cosine's positive here and here, so we know we should be looking in first and fourth. Here is one of them, here is one of them. And so we have pi over 6, 11 pi over 6. Where is sine x equal to -1/2? Well, sine is negative in the third and the fourth. So we are looking in the second part of the ordered pair. So we have one here, we have one here. So that's 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. 4. Where is sine x a negative square root of 3 over 2? So we have 4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So these should not be too bad. Number 5, where is sine theta equal to 0? It's either at 0 degrees or 180 degrees. And we put it in degrees because our interval was in degrees. Number 6, where is cosine theta equal to negative square root of 2 over 2? Cosine's negative in the second and the third. So we have this one at, well, they want degrees, so 135, and this one, which is 225. Okay, let's go to number 7. Where is sine theta negative square root of 2 over 2? Sine is negative in third and fourth. We're looking for the second part of the ordered pair, so we have it here, and they want degrees, so 225 and 315. Where is sine theta equal to negative square root of 3 over 2? We're in degrees, so we're down here, 4 pi over 3, but we need 240, and we need 300. All right, so you have 8 of those where you're just really using the unit circle. Let's try this number 9. 2 cotan x plus 3 equals 5. So we're going to solve this just linearly. We're going to subtract the 3. So we have 2 cotan x is 2. Then you're going to divide by 2. So cotan x is 1. And where is cotan positive? Quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. So let's see, they did ask for the interval 0 to 2 pi, so we need radians, but I always think in degrees, so I first wrote down 45, and in quadrant 3 that'd be 225, and then I get the radians. If you have your unit circle and you're just looking, you probably don't have to write down the other. Number 10. 6 sine x plus 9 equals 6 over 0 to 2 pi. So we will subtract the 9. That gives us a negative 3. So we have 6 sine x equals negative 3. Divide by 6. You have sine x equals a negative 1/2. So you want to look, where is sine negative? It's quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So that would be 210 degrees and 330 degrees. 11. 11 is one that you would really look at doing by factoring, but it's nicely factored for you already, so you just take both of those pieces and separately set them equal to 0. So on this one, subtract the 1, cotan x equals negative 1. And where is cotan negative? That would be quadrant 2 and 4. And let's see, the interval was 0 to 2 pi. So that's 135 and 315, or 3 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. On this one, square root of 3 tan x plus 1. Subtract the 1. Then you divide by square root of 3. When you rationalize it, you get this. It is negative in quadrant 2 and 4. And it's a 30-degree reference angle. So you have 150 or 330, put it in radians, it's 5 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Number 12. On this last one, we have something that looks sort of quadratic, so we're going to factor that. And so it's sine squared x plus 2 sine x plus 1 equals 0. So if we factor it to sine x plus 1 and sine x plus 1, so you get the same thing twice. You get sine x equals negative 1. There's one place where that occurs. That is at 3 pi over 2. And so you don't have to write it twice. It is a repeated root. So I think that will get you go. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. There's a 13. I was thinking it was the end. So on this one, again, we're going to factor, but the factors are already done there for us. They're in the parentheses. So cotan theta minus square root of 3 equals 0. We're going to add that square root of 3. where is cotan equal to square root of 3? It's a 30-degree reference and positive in quadrant 1 and 3. So you have 30 and 210. The second part, square root of 2 sine theta plus 1 is 0. Square root of 2 sine theta equals -1. Sine theta equals -1 over square root of 2. Sine theta is negative square root of 2 over 2. Well, that's a 45-degree reference. Where is it negative? It is negative in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So that's 225 and 315. And now I think that should be that should get you going on solving those trig equations.